All right, guys, let's go. Let's get this started. Welcome everybody to Crypto Mondays. I'm super excited to give you guys a very, very special guest, guys. I don't know if you guys are really serious about really like building this portfolio of cryptocurrency to really like take your finances like in a good way. Like, just take charge. Just decide for yourself what you want to do this 2023 and prepare, because the next bull run, you're going to be absolutely in the right place. So talking with Juan, as you guys know, we have different people here. We had the pleasure to have Juan a couple of times. We also had a pleasure to have Dane and a couple of more people for every single Monday. Today, we have a very special guest. Guys, I really want you guys to, first of all, open the cameras. We're here in a small space. We want you guys to really like absorb all of this information, because we do these spaces for you guys, okay? So I really want you guys to like open the cameras, to like drop once in the chat for our super special guest. This person, guys, like it blows me away. So let me just tell you a little bit of a story about these guys. So talking with Juan one day, we were like, okay, we want to really make these like crypto Mondays as a culture. We want to give different value to people like in different topics regarding crypto and regarding Web3. And so, you know what? That he said to me one day, like, I have the right guy for you. I have somebody that I absolutely trust with my like hands on fire, somebody that has helped me a lot on the way how to become a very good like investor, how to treat my crypto in the better way, how I can build my portfolio of cryptocurrency in the best way so I can actually prepare for the next bull run. And he talked to me about this person that I'm about to introduce you guys. So Troy, he's a person that he studied finance. So he actually has a degree in finance, but he actually recently moved all the way into Web3. And actually he has a lot of like cryptocurrency ATMs all over the place, but I don't want to spoil the surprise too much. I actually want this person to actually introduce himself and actually let you guys know what he has been doing in the last couple of days, the last couple of months, and how he was able to transition from just having a normal, like certificate or diploma in finance to transition full-time into Web3, and how he was able to do that, how he can help us do the same, and how he can just give us the juice, just give us some tips on how we can prepare to the next bull run. So without any like more like waiting, let's bring everybody. I want everybody to drop 111 in the chat for Troy. Pulli, this is yours. I really want you to just like take this as your family. Like you are here to just give so much value. We're here to absorb all of this information from you. So we're here to take notes. I just take it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the invite. I'm really happy to be here. First and foremost, I want to say that I'm not some Wall Street guru. I'm just like you guys, someone who's interested in crypto and see the potential in the crypto industry. So I started delivering groceries, utilizing like different applications on my phone, like Instacart, DoorDash. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but that's a great way to build active income. So the key is what you make outside of the cryptocurrency industry, and then be able to deploy some of that capital into different opportunities, yield farms, and so forth. But income is important. You can definitely make income in the crypto space through like staking opportunities and yield farming and just the appreciation itself. But it is important to have capital outside that you can deploy along the way, and knowing how to navigate the ecosystem. So first and foremost, she said that I was in the traditional finance world. So I started with scalping options. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with, options trading using TradFi. And I went to school for finance. So, I was at first trying to make it big on Wall Street. That was like my big goal. But then, I was in Bitcoin a little bit in 2018. And I realized I didn't dive as deep as I am today. But I definitely knew there was something there. But again, I'm still scalping options and trading and doing like short-term day trades. But then as soon as Bitcoin started to approach the all-time high back in 2020, during the pandemic, that's when it started to gain my interest. So I explored deeper into the DeFi rabbit hole. And then I just realized that this industry has a lot of potential. It democratizes the traditional banking system. So it's a disruption to the market. And it became clear to me that traditional finance is the old method, and decentralized finance is a new method, and it's bursting with opportunities, and it is going to reshape the future of finance. I'm not going to say it's going to, it is, because it is as we speak. It already is as we speak. So yeah, so that's the first thing. A little background about myself. And before we dive into this session, I just want to talk about different biases and different realizations I discovered throughout my experience. So in this short call we have with each other, I'm going to take my 6 years of experience and consolidate it into 45 minutes, but make it so there's storytelling, real world examples that you guys can relate to. So the first realization that, I wish I knew before I got into the cryptocurrency market is not ignoring negative feedback. Okay. So we have a coin we like, right? Cardano, Solana, there's the block wars. People are, they're clung onto their crypto, right? They're emotionally attached to it, right? So my realization was confirmation bias. So that could really cloud your judgment in investing. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Olympus DAO 3.3 saga. It was during 2020, the DeFi summer, and it was a decentralized reserve currency that was paying like an APY of like 10,000%. And a bunch of people were like joining this thing, and it just got way bigger than it should have been. And this is a perfect example of confirmation bias and having a cloudy judgment, and not thinking clearly. And on top of that, being blinded by my own greed and emotions. We are human beings, and we have to identify that. So my biggest realization is not just listening to the negative feedback, listening to positive feedback, but also taking in the negative feedback, because and analyzing the situation objectively, and don't be so fixated on the profits. This coin went from like a 25 million market cap to $4 billion. So it was just going up and up, like every day. You're just making money on it. And on top of that, you're earning a yield from the staking, which is paying out daily dividends. All right. This was during the peak of the bull market, during the second half of the bull market. And instead of taking a step back, and I remember coming across a tweet, and this tweet said, Ohm is a Ponzi. Ohm is just, it's a meme. It's not going to be around. And I would look at that feedback and I would just not take it in. I would be so fixated on my own beliefs. I didn't have a systematic plan. I didn't have a profit-taking strategies, and that led me to poor decision making. And when I say profit-taking strategy, there's different approaches of profit-taking strategies. If you guys want to write this down, there's like a conservative approach. There's a moderate and aggressive approach to profit taking. Let's say my coin goes from, I have 500 shares. I'm in Matic, Polygon at $1. So 500 shares at $1 a piece. If this goes up 100%, you have to have a plan with it. You know what I mean? Like you go out, you set a vacation for yourself. You plan a vacation, right? You make sure every day is planned out perfectly and you have a great time. Well, the same thing with investing. Like you have to have a system. You have to have a profit-taking strategy. If you don't have a plan, you're going to get caught up in the greed. And I've seen this happen a countless amount of times. Myself, people I network with, people all the time, YouTubers, whatever. So when I say a profit-taking strategy, you have to de-risk out of the position. So I'm getting into a little bit of systems, but I also want you to understand that there's different biases that we have to overcome. So when I say conservative profit taking, that means if it goes up 100%, you take the initial investment off the table and you let the rest ride. An aggressive profit taking strategy is you only take 50% of your initial investment off the table and you let the rest ride. But that's not for me to decide. That's up to your own risk tolerance and your beliefs and conviction and patience in the coin or whatever. Another bias is endowment effect. Placing a higher value on your investment because you own it. Like I see this all the time with ETH maxis. And then the ETH maxis ignore all the other opportunities in the other layer ones because you're placing too much value on one investment it kind of makes you have tunnel vision. And that kind of goes into, don't be emotionally attached with anything you invest in, unless it's like, this isn't financial advice, but like from what I've learned, unless it's Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm not going to like marry this coin. Like there's just no point in it. But if you do want to marry it, at least make it a risk-free trade, at least, because there's always an opportunity somewhere else. If you're bag holding something because you're hoping for it to hit a certain profit target, that's where you're going to go wrong. And then there's an opportunity somewhere else where that money could be more useful. So just, you have to think very clearly and objectively, and think more neutral with your decision-making process, for that. So that my first realization is, don't have don't ignore negative feedback. Listen to the negative feedback. Don't block the person, because there might be something that you're missing, and that is there that you can't see because you're too clouded because of your emotions. So I hope that kind of makes sense. The second realization, I wish I knew before I started investing in crypto, is overestimating my own abilities. Like, I don't know how far along you guys are along within this process, but you might have got lucky on one coin or memorized a few terms. You know what an AMM is, an automated market maker, or yield or impermanent loss. Like, you start to catch on to some terms and things start to click, and then you might hit it big on one coin. But then, and this is what I've suffered from, so I'm just sharing my experiences. I suffered from something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And this is where I overestimate my abilities. I get lucky a few times. I think I'm smarter than the market, but then the market just humbles me. I'm over-invested in something. I have too much faith in a coin. I'm over-invested in my own abilities, and thinking I'm smarter than I am. This is a very fast and innovative space that you don't need to be an expert in every field. You can just master one segment. And then for example, DeFi, I'm solely in DeFi. I do a little bit of blockchain gaming and NFTs, but my specialty is decentralized finance. And then I will network with other people that are experts in their industry, in their field, which is, NFTs or blockchain gaming, and stuff of that nature. So instead of mastering the whole market, just master a small segment and then start expanding from there. Because again, the overconfidence bias, and overestimating your abilities. I'm not saying that you're not a pro. You could definitely know more than the average person, but like I said, this is just, compared to other industries, this is just a very fast evolving space, that you always got to be constantly learning and engaging in different newsletters and podcasts and stuff. That's another thing. I'm not trying to sit here and say I'm this perfect crypto genie. I encourage people to go out and meet other people and network with other people. I could name 5 newsletters right now off my head that I take in, but I don't solely rely on them, right? I use them and I make my own judgment, because when I start not thinking for myself, that's when I make the most erratical decisions. You need to start thinking for yourself, in this space. And maybe at first it's nice to network and have other people but when I say going in a Discord and seeing someone post a stock or a crypto ticker, doesn't mean you go in and buy it without doing any due diligence. If you don't even know if it's inflationary or deflationary, I wouldn't buy it, because you don't know the tokenomics behind it. Yes, hype could go a long way. And, if there's a cult following behind the coin, yes, there's money to be made, but it's not something I'm going to invest in the long term. And that goes into another thing, is in identifying, are you a day trader? Are you a long-term trader? Because, and I do this all the time, especially when I first started out, was I would make a day trade into a long-term trade, or vice versa, a long-term trade into a day trade. You have to identify what you are before you even make a decision investing, because then, you'll be emotional and you'll be just trading off your profit and loss. You won't actually be making good decisions based on systems. You'll just be trading right off your emotions. And crypto could the numbers could go up high, like, and the numbers could go down low very fast. And that's why you're overly emotional, especially in crypto. It's a great practice to like be more neutral in your decision-making process. But yeah, like I said, like specializing in a small segment. I don't know, again, I don't know anyone's background here. This is my first time on this. But like, is everyone pretty much like have their own DeFi wallet? Like, are you like, how far along are you guys? I'm actually curious.
So yeah, let me help you a little bit about that. So we are basically a community, a network marketing community. And basically what we do is that we have these companies, this technology company that help us basically, leverage experts by using applications in different markets. So one of the applications that we have is for cryptocurrency. So in there we do long trading, day trading. They teach us how to like build a crypto, portfolio of cryptocurrency and things like that. But specifically with this team, what I would like for them to learn basically is, how to prepare for the next, what are those tips, for like people that are just getting started with, cryptocurrency, people that want to definitely prepare and make sure that they are not, too late for the next bull run. I just had to laugh when you said that about Olympus, because I got into that project. I've been doing cryptocurrency for about 1.5 years now. And I got into that project for, it was after it really hit like what you were talking about. It hit like this insane like value, and everybody was talking about it. And I got in with, like some money, or like my last savings basically. And that was like 1.5 years ago, like probably like, like 1 year ago. And I got into that, and it was, it was already like, the top was already reached. So, and then it tanked really, really hard. Like it tanked, and now it was me, like when you talk about emotions, I was so attached, and I was looking at this Olympus, project every single day. And I was so attached emotionally that I'm like, no, it's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to go up.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, so what can we teach them so that doesn't happen to them? So they're actually preparing for projects like this, so when to get in, what websites to look at, like all of those little gems that that we probably don't. So
so before I dive into like the websites and stuff, like that's, I still hold Ohm, right? But I had a strategy, I had a profit taking strategy. Right now I'm holding it, and it's back down to like a 250 million market cap, and it's not doing much right now. And I'm sure there's another opportunity somewhere else, and I probably should cut my losses, but at least I took some profits off the table. And that's what I'm saying. Like when there was these influencers that would put 3-3 in their biography. So like, I'm like, oh my, like Chris Sacca, like Mark Cuban, like all these people are behind Ohm, Grimes, like, wow, this is like unstoppable. Like I was convinced like this was going to hit like the top 10 market cap in crypto. And my confirmation bias, my judgment was clouded because I wasn't looking at the negative feedback. I wasn't looking at like people would tweet, and I would just ignore it. I'd be like, no, I would like block that dude. I wouldn't really, but I'm saying like, that's what you feel like you want to do. And you can think of it bigger. Like think of FTX, think of all the problems that were wrong there. And you have all your money in a centralized exchange, and you're not thinking of, oh, are they solvent? Do they, you're only thinking of, oh, it's so good. Even though the marketing was amazing. They're blasted on arenas, and Tom Brady and all these people were behind it. That's the perfect example. So if FTX can fail, something that was that big, anything could fail. So you have to have a profit taking strategy, regardless of the hype surrounding the coin or the centralized exchange. So does that kind of help right there?
Yeah, it does. Another thing that I want to throw out there is that we also, we've been into Crypto Mondays with Juan as well. He gave us a lot of tips on how to just stay away from centralized exchanges. And so we bought our ledgers, and we're having a little bit more. We're a little bit more educated in how to do this in the most professional way. But if you want to like share with us like some websites that you look at, like how do you, for instance, how do you pick a project? How do you know that a project is good? How do you know that it's shit? Sorry,
because this is the fun part. It's nice learning from other people's experience. That's definitely a great way to shave years off your learning curve. But if there's definitely different resources to use. One I like to use, it's called DeFi Llama. And it basically shows you different blockchains like Ethereum, Avalanche, Polygon, Optimism, and Arbitrum, which are layer 2. Those are booming right now. And what you can do is you can see the TVL. It's called the total value locked. So write that down, TVL, total value locked. And then I just use DeFi Llama to go in and see where the value is. Where is the money flowing? And if I see that money's flowing into Arbitrum, I'll dive onto the Arbitrum. I'll bridge some Ethereum over, and then I'll start diving deeper down that rabbit hole. But if you're diving deep down the rabbit hole, you might want to use a burner wallet, not your main wallet. So I have a ledger with my main funds that I only send crypto to. I don't connect to applications or nothing. It's like completely cold storage. But then I'll have a burner wallet where I'll start connecting to different applications, DeFi applications. And then that's when I'll start buying some tokens and stuff, and getting some skin in the game. So DeFi Llama, and then just go and see where the TVL is. Like, I can't share my screen right now, but it's pretty easy. And then you can look at the top 5 coins on that blockchain. So for example, Arbitrum, there's Radiant Capital, there's DopeX, which is different derivatives. So there's different categories for each application that's built on these blockchains. So very simply, there could be borrowing and lending, a money market, and then there could be derivatives, and then there could be NFTs, and then there could be oracles, and then there could be DEX, decentralized exchanges. So what I would do is, now it's not financial advice. This is what I'm doing is I'm just exploring during the bear market in these protocols, because I want to position myself. I don't want to get in Solana and Avalanche when it's at an all-time high. I want to, because the narratives and trends are always changing. And that's one thing that if you were early to the layer 1 narrative, then you would have made a lot of money. And that's what I'm saying is if you can speculate the next narrative, which I believe is ZK rollups, you can write that down and then do further due diligence on it. Layer 2s, stuff like that are going to help Ethereum scale, are something that I believe are going to have a lot of hype, especially during the bull market. If you guys understand the 4-year cycles, we have a little bit of time before it starts to go, the halving starts. But I would position myself, I don't want to get in and be the exit liquidity for everyone else. You want to start taking I don't know if you guys heard of the dollar cost average approach. It's just a very simple approach where you can buy a little bit here, buy a little bit there. But you also want to keep in mind, you can dollar cost average out of your position. So as prices move higher and higher during the bull market, you want to have that strategy, that plan where you're taking profits as prices move higher and higher based on that moderate, conservative, and aggressive approach I was kind of taking about taking profits. And then just pay yourself as prices move higher and higher. This will, one, help with your emotions. You won't be as emotionally attached. And if there is a 50% pullback on that coin, which happens, you won't be freaking out. You'll be more neutral because you at least made it a risk-free trade. So my biggest advice is just understand the cycles and understand that you have to position yourself. You have to plant your seeds now, because if you start getting in when valuations are higher, then that's when you start to, that's when it's the riskiest. The risk and reward ratio is the best during bear markets. And then the risk reward ratio is the highest or the lowest. It's the riskiest when prices are higher. So every day the prices go higher, it's riskier. So I'd rather just not try to time the bottom and just DCA in now,
That's amazing. Regarding those, websites that you look at and how is, basically what's the judgment? When you look at, for instance, a project, what are red flags? What are green flags? Is that a word in English? I'm sorry, I speak Spanish, but you know what it is, red flags and then good flags. What is it that you look at when choosing, okay, you know what? I like this project. I think, I believe in it because A, Y, and C. What are those maybe 3 things that you look at when you decide to invest in a project and why? So we can have
So first thing is I always look at the white paper. Just if you've and I'm sure like, and everyone's done it. I'm sure you bought a coin without looking at the white paper, but it's important to identify, is the coin inflationary or deflationary? Because if they're making more of it, if they're printing millions of tokens, I don't want to be in that. You know, I can get dumped on. I'm going to be the exit liquidity for it. So make sure you know if it's deflationary or inflationary, because ideally you want something that's deflationary. So like Ethereum's deflationary. Dogecoin, they print millions of those coins. Like you don't want to get in something that is inflated. I'm not saying you can't make money in it. I'm just personally won't hold it. So just make sure. Yeah. So make sure that, and I'm not saying every protocol has to be doxed, because there's a lot of great projects where the people are anonymous, you know, like for example, Olympus DAO. I think it's still a good project. The founders are anonymous. So just make sure that you're doing due diligence. Like, yes, technical analysis is nice, and it's good to make sure you're getting in during like, you know, when it's undervalued, but like understanding the fundamentals, because a lot of the plays I'm in right now is I understand the fundamentals. So I have conviction in it and I have patience. So you need conviction and patience, and you need to be able to, you know, plant your seeds. Like when I dive down those coins within those blockchains, like I just said on DeFi Llama, like I don't know for a fact this is going to be like a 20 billion market cap. Like I don't know. That's why I just build a position, dabble a little bit, and I plant my seeds in different protocols. And then once they start to, the trade starts to perform and play itself out, that's when I'll start like, I'm not sitting at my screen staring at like every tick that goes up. Like I just understand that narratives change. And if I want to get in, you know, start networking with other people, like and multiple podcasts I listen to and newsletters. And then, I see like what value I can get. I get insights, and then I make my own decision. And then sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right, but I'm right more than I'm wrong is what I'm like, and my losses are smaller than my wins. So you got to keep your losses small. You know, don't go 100% of your position size in a DeFi project that you don't have no research on, you know, so that's important. So my thing is like build relationships. Like I wouldn't be on this call if I didn't network with Juan and, you know, did a little coaching with him, and we connected in Miami. Like that's really it. Just networking and, you know, expanding your resources. That's really it, you know.
It's really valuable. So regarding like, for instance, social media, there's a lot of like things that the media says, you know, buy this coin, go to this project, everybody's buying this, or like maybe they pay a lot of marketing to have a lot of people talking about the coin at the same time. So everybody buys it, and then, you know, and then it falls apart. So in order for us not to fall into those social media traps, right? Because at the end of the day, those are scams. Like, what are those things that we really need to look to make sure that we're not getting into the wrong projects? And also, I want you to touch a little bit on what social media platforms to look at when it comes, you know, with crypto. I know that there are like a couple of, just maybe one or two that are huge into the cryptocurrency space. So which ones are those? And maybe like, can you just throw a couple of like groups that you think that are legit, that we can actually follow and actually learn from them?
Yeah, absolutely. So to your first question is avoiding media. You know, a lot of these projects have a lot of capital to put into marketing, you know, and then like, for example, like a Floki, like something like that, right? It's just like a meme coin. And, you know, and if you go on their Twitter, like I always like to go on the Twitter of the protocol I'm investing in, just to see what the founders or the developers are chatting about, what they're retweeting. And a lot of the times you'll get these like meme coins or these NFT projects that all they talk about is price. All they talk about is floor price. They don't really care. They just, oh, the coin's up today. And those are the projects you want to stay far, far away from. The ones that just spend all their money on marketing and just talking about price. And you'll see that. And when's the last time they tweeted? Like if it's a project that hasn't tweeted in 6 months and it's a bear market when they should be building, I stay away. And if I'm already in that token, I'll just sell it for a loss and then use that loss as a tax loss. So that's important. It's just like going on the Twitter, joining the Discord. asking questions. That's important. And networking with other experts in the field. So again, I don't want to be biased, but I have my own insights and free newsletter. So that's one way. And I specialize in DeFi and other experts in this space. There's also Coin Baru. He's huge on YouTube. Like he's great for valuable information, like what's going on in the macro environment. So what's going on in like with the interest rates and the Federal Reserve and like real-time news. It's pretty good. Coin Baru. Another Bankless is another one. They're awesome, those guys. They have a newsletter as well. And then they have their own YouTube channel. So I listen to multiple podcasts at like all the time, and I just make my own thesis based on, I don't make sure like confirmation bias. I don't want to listen to what they're saying, just do it. Like, I'm sure you can make money, but like, you got to think for yourself in this space. And that's where you'll get to long-term gains.
So for you, it will be mainly Twitter and YouTube, your sources of, where you get all of that info from?
Yeah. Twitter and Twitter Spaces. Like, build out your Twitter. Even if you're anonymous, public, it doesn't matter. Start following like really good accounts like Bankless or like the DeFi Edge. And this is what I encourage people to do. And then, just start following their following. Like, go in and then you'll start your feed, your algorithm will start showing you things that are crypto related and not about your old friend from high school getting married, which is fine. But like, keep that separate from like your crypto world or your, because a lot of the times, and from my situation is like, I'll have family and friends and I'll repost like crypto stuff and like, just, they don't care. Like, that's why I keep that separate. And just connect, like I said, I have my free newsletter. She can either leave the link or in the bio or whatever, but this could help shave years off your learning curve, as well as, and avoid the mistakes I made. But like I said, I encourage you to like reach out to other resources and stuff, because that's very helpful for being well-rounded, so.
I was always also looking at your social media, pretty interesting. You have 2 pages, but your DeFi page is definitely, you give a lot of value in that page. You definitely like try to educate a lot of people in the space. So I would encourage everybody to follow you. Like, if you want to share your Instagram, where we can follow you for like any like value, anything that we can learn. If we want to learn more about, this space, where can we like find that information? Like, if you want to share a little bit of your social media and where you maybe like do podcasts, or like where can we find you basically? So if we want to learn more and continue learning from you, where can we find you?
Yeah, so I put some links in the chat. My partner is in here. He's freaking awesome. He's been in Bitcoin since 2013. But we do a podcast every Thursday. And then we also, when you subscribe to the newsletter, you can unsubscribe whenever you want. If it doesn't fit, like if you don't find value in it, like, you're more than welcome to unsubscribe. It's just free market insights and just free like tips. You can like check out a few articles from the link on the defiandlabs.com. But that's I don't know how far along you guys are, but again, like, this is just what I've been working on, and I'd really appreciate, you guys check it out.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like, we want to get more educated as well in the different spaces with cryptocurrency. We definitely have like different people coming into this space, teaching us a little bit about what they're doing in a different space. Obviously, you are a person that is very specialized in DeFi. I do want to know more about it. I try to do a little bit of those projects, about like 8 months ago, like 1 year ago. But like I said, I honestly, my problem was that I was lacking a little bit on education on when to actually join the project. I literally joined because like the coin literally exploded, and like the project exploded and everybody was getting in. And by the time I got all of my money in, it started to tank hardcore, and there was like no way to go back from that. So for me, it's like,
that's funny you say that. That goes into another bias. Anchoring bias, just because it rips, you're overvaluing it based on its past and not its potential, and crypto could rip your face off. If like, it's like, I've never seen it in any other industry, you know, besides like the GameStop and like the GME like era. But like, it really, like, crypto's crazy volatile. But you got to think it's a new industry. It's in its infancy stage. I'm sure you hear that all the time. The market is small. Like, Apple alone is larger than all the cryptocurrencies. That, just to put things in perspective. Your iPhone, that's crazy. There's a lot of upside here. So that's what I'm excited for.
More people have iPhones than the people like really know about cryptocurrency, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's changing. I feel like more and more people are getting educated. Obviously, right now we are in a, you know, in the the bear market, but we definitely, like, part of this, what we do here at B, with these network marketing companies, that we educate people not only in crypto, but all the different spaces, basically how to make money online. But we definitely love to bring people like you, giving value and just, share. So interested in what you're doing. I feel like we should definitely have a look at what you're doing in your social media, your podcast, learn more about that. Maybe, learn when is the next like project that you think is going to moon. Juan is always like joking about it, like with the lingo, but yeah, I think Juan is also over here. But yeah, I definitely so my takeaway from this is really I want the people that are connected today and the people that are like working right now that can be here, but they will be listening to the recording, that they get away with an idea of like this different different space in cryptocurrency that they can join and they can learn from, and they can possibly like profit from, if you actually educate yourself in the next couple of months. So yeah, anything that you want to say regarding that, just to close the call and make sure that everybody gets the most value?
Yes. Yeah, so timing is big, like, if you, like you said, understand the 4-year cycle, like, you got a little bit of time. Like, you can just look at a logarithmic growth curve and see that, okay, every time near the Bitcoin halving, that happens every 4 years, it kickstart the bull run, because it reduces the supply of the reward to the miners, which, that's really good news, because it makes there's less tokens on the marketplace. And what we're trying to do here is position ourselves before. So understand this cycle, understand that crypto has bear markets and bull markets since it's ever been created. It's not like it's like we're going off of like fake, like market, like they say history repeats itself and rhymes, right? Isn't that like a saying? So just understand the 4-year cycle and like timing. Like, if you get in 2025, like, what are you waiting for? Like, start building. Like, this is the time. You don't want to, because like once the bull run does start, max euphoria will start really making, it's like a drug. Like, it actually does release dopamine in your brain when like prices are mooning and you cannot think clearly. It's an actual thing, dopamine. And so you'll realize that when you check prices once in a while, you'll get like a dopamine hit, and it's like a drug. So that's why you have to plant your seeds now and position yourself during a bear market when things are quiet and people are building and there's all the scammers are getting out of the industry. Like, we got a lot of bad actors eliminated. So now is the time to start building, and then, and then enjoy the bull market when it comes, but you got to start now. Like, when I say now, like today, like, open up a DeFi wallet and start learning. I know Metamask has educational videos to help you get started with creating your MetaMask wallet, so you can go and do that, which is awesome. This is the first step to decentralizing yourself from traditional finance. And that's why I moved into this space, because there's a lot of bad actors in the traditional financial world. And I don't think they're in the best interest of the people, especially with the CBDC that's going to start rolling out in the next year or so. I know some other countries already have it, but it's basically a programmable carbon tracker, tracks your carbon footprint. It's a digital currency issued and regulated by your country's central bank that has expiration dates on it. So think about it that, like, do you want the freedom money, the Bitcoin, the crypto that gives you power to the people, or something that's going to make the governments have even more control than they already have? And that's kind of like why I'm doing this, is because I don't believe in a lot of the things I see with big banks and like how they treat like people. So like, I'm just trying to like be involved in this space, you know, and really put all my efforts into this. So.
Can I ask you, like, maybe like it's more like a personal question, but you know, more that so we can learn, or like we can be prepared of what's coming in the world. So they say that, you know, like we're basically gonna start, like, you know, it's going to be very difficult basically in the next couple of months and years, as we fall more and more into recession. But like, do you feel like, you know, people will eventually really like move away from, you know, printing dollars or like, you know, like physical money, to like completely to be like decentralized, or, you know, to do what you're doing basically, to that's that, like, you're one of the early adapters, so like kudos to you, because you're definitely there. But you know, for us, for instance, that we're like, you know, getting to know everything, we're trying to get more educated in the space. What is like your personal opinion? And I know that you're not like a professional advisor or anything like that, but what's your personal opinion into, you know, what the world is heading, and you know, what's basically, yeah, what's basically, what do you think is going to happen the next couple of months, and how we can be ready for, you know, for a war, or like what happened in Russia, that they basically shut down the banks and they took all of the money from the people, things like that are like super scary. The only people that own crypto, like in Ukraine, those were the ones that left the country. So
I know Nigeria just put Bitcoin's trading at like 38,000, like for a premium in Nigeria on those exchanges, because they just put something out that they're limiting how much cash you can withdraw from your bank. So they have too much control in our lives. And with cryptocurrency and cold storage, you know, the portability behind it is value itself, you know, being able to transfer that value, and it's borderless payments where you can go and bring it anywhere in case something does happen and a World War III does happen. You know, we're able to bring this store of value, like, you know, because the banks put a limit on how much you can take out per day. It's actually kind of ridiculous. And I don't like that at all, you know? So that's that. What was the question again? You said,
yeah, so like, what's your personal opinion, like, regarding like, you know, to prevent something like this from happening? Do you feel like we should just you know, prepare and have like, I don't know, like how much percentage you think we can have like in a decentralized like form of money, such as, you know, I know that you're fully like, you know, moved to that, but for us that we're still like trying to get more educated in the space, like what's your basically your advice, you know, to avoid like being, you know, if let's say Chase and the Bank of America, they shut us down, or the Bank of Germany, there are some Germans here, shut you down, like what do you do, like how you can actually
prepare. You could just prepare, get a cold storage, and start taking all your crypto off of centralized exchange and then sending it over. You know, we're gonna have a tokenized world, a digital economy. You know, it's gonna be more than just cryptocurrency. The NFT industry is gonna just like democratize physical items and gaming. Like everything's gonna be tokenized. Like this book will be tokenized into an NFT. Like I know Spotify's already created tokenized podcasts. So every podcast I shoot Thursday, I can put it in the form of an NFT, and no one could, you know, it helps with copyright, and it's, you know, mutable, and I can, you know, I have ownership, and most importantly, over that podcast video. Like, you know, that's the biggest thing. So prepare is my biggest advice, is be ready. Like, don't wait for bad things to happen. Like hope for the best, expect the worst, and just plan. You know, get that cold storage, a Ledger. You can get them for like $60. Some are a little bit more. I know Ledger just dropped their new stacks, which is like it looks like an iPhone, and you can literally send your crypto to it in NFTs. And just prepare, just be ready. You know, don't wait for the perfect timing. Just start now. You know, that's it.
Tomorrow is too late. Start today.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if you guys have any questions for Troy, but this is your moment. I know that obviously I want to respect your time. We only have 10 more minutes, but otherwise, if anybody don't have any questions, I would love everybody to follow him on social media, to really pay attention of the value that he's presenting. He does give a lot of value to social media. I don't know if you also like have a course or like anything that you do like to like help people, you know, level up on this space, or anything like that you want to share with us.
Yeah, so for now I have that free newsletter. So you can go and subscribe to it, free stuff. And I do like I don't have like a course like done with or a done do it yourself like course. I don't have that. I do more consulting and stuff like that. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, like I said, just get the free newsletter. And if you find value in it and you like my videos and you see we're a good fit and this is something you find value in, that would be definitely something I would do in the future. Like I'm already doing it, but I'm saying like, see what I got to offer first. And I'm looking forward to meeting you guys. And I appreciate you bringing me on, Juan. Thank you. He's a great dude.
One is somewhere over there. Oh, I think somebody said, Geraldine, would you say that the best exit strategy or less risky is $2 cost average?
Yeah. So for an exit strategy, so people DCA all the time, like buy every month, right? They buy, but what are you doing? You have to sell to make the money, or it's just fake numbers on the screen. So just have a plan. Like if it hits a certain profit target, whether it's 50%, 25%, 75%, you're de-risking. You're taking skin out of the game because there's an opportunity cost that you can be using that capital somewhere else, whether it's sitting in a stable coin, earning a 5% yield, or you're putting it back in just to Ethereum. Let's say you're in an altcoin and it goes up 100%. Like for example, Velodrome. I don't know if you're familiar with this. And it's up. I'm up 1,000% on it. It's a fork of Curve.
1,000%.
Yeah, it's a fork of Curve DAO, and it's basically an automated market maker. And I just planted some seeds, and then as the prices move higher and higher, I'm taking profit. So, like I said, there's a conservative way of doing it. Like let's say it goes up 100%, you take your initial investment off the table plus 50%. So you took your initial investment plus you made 50% of your investment back or on top of it as profit. And then there's an aggressive approach where if it goes up 100%, you take half of your initial investment and you let it ride. But again, the systems, like that's up to you and your own risk tolerance and your time frames. Like I can't tell you how much to take off the table, but that's good that every time, and I'm telling you, like every time like I take profits, it typically always drops. And then I'll have an opportunity to come back in and scoop it up for even cheaper. Because if I'm holding it long term, even though I got in at a penny, but it's at 12 cents, but it's still down 50% from its all time, I'm just going to pick more up. And it really comes down to your own risk tolerance and your own judgment.
Yeah, 100%. That's amazing. And then somebody said, what are the top 10 words we should always remember? Top 10 words.
Don't buy a shit coin. That's fine.
Or a meme coin.
Or a meme coin. That's only 5 words, but stay away from the meme coins. I'm not saying there's not money to be made in Doge and Shiba, but you want to invest, and not financial advice, into infrastructure, whether it's a Chainlink Oracle or a Uniswap decentralized exchange, the largest DEX in DeFi, Uniswap. So it's like I focus on infrastructure, and then I'll dive deeper down sorry, I was echoing. And then I'll dive deeper down like the rabbit hole of like memes. But if I do, it'd be a small percentage of my portfolio,
Amazing. And then lastly, just real quick, I forgot to ask you, but what are the top 2 or the top 3 wallets, decentralized wallets that we can choose from? I know that you spoke about Metamask as being the best. This is the one that I use personally, but which other ones do you recommend for us to, keep track of?
Yeah, so I use Metamask, and then for Solana, I use Solflare. There's also Phantom, and then Cosmos, I use Kepler. So like for the Ethereum blockchain and like anything that has to do with like layer 1 or layer 2, I'm pretty much using Metamask. There's other options like Exodius. I can't really think of like Trust Wallet, but Metamask's awesome, and they even have like some educational videos, and they're releasing a token soon. I think Metamask's the best one, but again, there's the difference between a hot and a cold wallet. So the cold wallet would be your ledger, which you connect to MetaMask, because remember, it's an interface to help you connect your private keys to the blockchain. And then the hot wallet is just the 12-word seed phrase where your private keys are encrypted online. So there's pros and cons to each one. And I think it's important for you guys to understand the differences between a cold and a hot wallet. So that's something you guys can look up. But yeah, Metamask is what I utilize. So.
Metamask. So you strongly advise on Metamask, right?
Yeah, I strongly advise on Metamask and getting a ledger or a treasure and then having cold storage.
Okay. Now, I think for the most part, people in this team already have a ledger, but it's also good to have, I was wondering what you really thought about MetaMask, because that's the one I use for these projects. And yeah, basically, for me, I'm pretty solid. I think you gave us a lot of value today. I can, definitely advise everybody to just keep track of Troy from his podcast and any, reels that he makes, or any like social media content, podcast, YouTube videos, anything else that you want to, absorb from Troy. Absolutely recommendable. As you know, Juan, we have been in class with Juan for the last couple of Mondays, but he definitely, advises on, like follow a certain amount of people. Don't just follow like anybody on the internet, because you're gonna get just so overwhelmed and so like, intoxicated with information, and you're gonna end up like, completely like confused. So like we follow only like people like Juan, you, maybe Dane, and these people, and just we continue. We have Juan raising the hand. Yes, Juan, do you have a question? You can unmute yourself.
I want to be polite. But no, I appreciate Troy jumping on here and the connection that we've made. So crazy, because every single time that you get on, you always explain how everybody met. But the way you met me is the way that I met Troy. It was on a yacht in Miami. And so we connected there. Then he went back home. We chatted on Insta and whatever. So here we are. Point is, the last statement you're making about following the right people, don't listen to absolutely everything on the internet, because I want to say the majority of that is caca. No bueno. But as you can see, like every single time that I get on, or anybody that we bring on here, we all have pretty much the same sentiment as far as the market to keep, and we're going to continue to preach the same exact. It's going to get boring for you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to keep reaching the same exact positive, right things to do in this space, because there is a lot of bad things to do in this space. So as you can see, we're connected with the right people that have the same exact mindset and ideology when it comes to this asset class. And so it's very important that you hear it from multiple people. And if they don't sound like what we're telling you, then that's a red flag. That's basically my hand raising moment. So thank you.
No, that's absolutely amazing. The cool thing about being in these spaces, guys, is that we are listening value from people that actually know how this works. It's just not somebody that just made a channel on IG or TikTok and is TikToking without, really knowing what they're talking about. These are people that are actually in the space, making money, people that can actually give you an advice and can really guide you in the right way so you can make money with this thing. So really, like, I just want everybody to drop a big one for Troy and for Juan for just giving us so much value every single Monday. I can't stress enough, guys, how grateful I am to take this time to really educate this team and continuously like giving these preach these ideas that yes, you guys probably say a little bit of the same, but it is for a reason, guys. If like different people in this space that are already making a lot of money are telling you the same thing, is because chances are, if you really follow what they're saying, you can do the same, right? And it's not difficult. It's very simple. You just need to know the websites. You just need to know the right wallets and the right information. So I'm definitely very grateful for you. And just before I let you go, I want to know your opinion in Pulse X. Pulse change.
Pulse X. I think I don't know.
I know
I'm not a fan.
Over there. One is laughing over there, but really quickly.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan.
The guy, is that Hex guy?
X.
Yeah, I don't. He's rubs me the wrong way. I'm not saying there's not money to be made. It's just not something I'm I dive down that rabbit
You're
hole. I have
mainly
more
a DeFi.
Ethereum, DeFi, stuff like that, you know, Solana, you know, Cosmos, but like other than that, I don't really think,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay,
I don't
amazing.
like it.
No,
I
but
don't like it, but doesn't mean there's not money to be made, you know.
right. That's the beauty about cryptocurrency, that you, at the end of the day, you need to do your own research. You
Mhm.
need to do your own, you know, due diligence to look at the things that you really like, that makes sense for you. If I believe in this project, put money on it, but put money on it just not because somebody in the internet or somebody TikTok about it, because you actually did the research for it.
Yeah.
So that's the
My
beauty of it.
best investments were ones that I completely did my own due diligence and it worked out. Like anything, like you'll have a buddy that will tell you a coin and stuff, or you'll read it online. There's nothing that was as significant as just doing your own due diligence. So, and it feels better too, you know. You can put the, you know, it was all on you, you know.
At least if it doesn't work, you can blame yourself, no, nobody else.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's
I think
definitely
we're
true.
here in this team, we're like mature enough to like, at the end of the day, it's your own risk. We all know
Mhm.
that. And we're only here to like guide you and to tell you like, you know, like basically the steps to do it the right way. But at the
Mhm.
end of the day, the project that you end up choosing, that's
Yeah.
your own choice. And you're
It's
never gonna hear these guys telling you like buy Solana or buy
yeah,
Hex. Like, you know, hardly ever is gonna tell you that.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, Troy. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Juan, for this amazing connection. I would love to have you again in the next, you know, couple of months. I definitely would love, this like the team and the people that are listening to this recording to follow you. And yeah, let's go ahead and start today, guys. Not tomorrow, no next month, not when they pay you. Like try to like really prepare like every single week, dollar cost average. All right, guys. So
Awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate you having me.
thanks to
See you,
you.
Juan. See you guys.
Bye-bye. Take care.
All right.
See you
All
later.
right. Bye.